Hello, my name is Beck and welcome to my spoiler-free review of The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. In the city of Camor, there is thievery and slavery, and it's a pretty gross and dirty place unless you're a rich noble. Locke Lamora is just this gross, dirty orphan boy, and he learns thievery from a young age from this artisan in the city of Camor. Then we flash forward to present day, and he's in his late teens, early 20s, and instead of the artisan being the leader of the gang, Locke Lamora is the leader of the gang called the Gentlemen Bastards, and they're basically professional thieves. Locke Lamora and the gang don't really know anything else apart from thievery, and it's something they really enjoy. So they're going along with this long con that Locke has planned, and they're going to get a heap of gold from it. But they kind of go too far, and Locke gets pulled into this shady deal alongside his gang. And the tension and the plot kind of develop from that point onwards, but I can't really go into the details because the reveals are spoilers. I did listen to the audiobook of this one as well. It's kind of a trend for high fantasy books on my TBR, but that made me kind of detached possibly from the character development in this book, or I'm not sure if it was just the way it was written. I love the gang of the Gentlemen Bastards with Locke and his friends, but the hierarchies and the names of all the different other characters in the book kind of got a bit distracting for me, and I found it hard to keep track of when I was listening to the audiobook. Might be similar reading the actual text as well. It is third person, which I generally love, but I think I've been a little bit spoiled for flashbacks, and the flashbacks kind of form a linchpin for this book, going back and forth between Locke's past and his friend's past and the present day when they're all in this con. I found I was a bit spoiled for the flashbacks because of the Trader's Blade, which I absolutely loved, and in The Trader's Blade, the flashbacks are done quite seamlessly, whereas in this book, particularly in the audiobook where I couldn't see the text change or anything, the flashbacks were a little bit jarring to me. When a flashback happened, I was like, wait, isn't he in an alley? Oh no, wait, never mind, he's 12 again. And I kind of just found it a little bit hard to follow. Even though the flashbacks weren't quite as seamless as I liked, I did enjoy the contrast that they contributed to the overall story. And 2/3 into the book, there was a huge bombshell, and that was probably my favourite part, because when I tweeted that I was going to be reading The Lies of Locke Lamora, I got an outpouring of love from a bunch of bookish friends saying, oh my god, it's absolutely amazing! So similarly to Bloodsong, I think the hype kind of cut me off from loving this story as much as I possibly could have. Unfortunately, I didn't love it as much as I thought I would, but I definitely did enjoy it. I didn't hate it, and overall, I did like The Lies of Locke Lamora. I gave it a 3.5 stars out of 5, but I did find that the world building, even though it was really detailed and interesting, it kind of detracted a little bit from the story because it spent so much time building up this world, but not a lot of time, or as much time as I wanted, building up the characters that we follow. There were a lot of standout scenes in this in regards to character, but in between those and the lead up to them felt a little bit dry to me, unfortunately. That said, I did like Locke as a determined character, and he was very brutal and surprising. But because of the flashbacks-ish, I kind of predicted what would happen at the end, which again contributed to my 3.5 star rating. Last quick mention, there were some absolutely brutal gangster thematics that kind of stood out in this book that I haven't found a parallel for in other fantasy books. So if you're after something that's gritty and brutal and kind of the underbelly of a fantasy book, this is what you're going to want to read. And there we go, those are my spoiler-free thoughts on The Lies of Locke Lamora. Let me know if you've read it and what your thoughts are. Let me know if you cried at the end. I didn't. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!